Let's go, fellas. Let's tap in. Like and share this broadcast. Like and share this broadcast. We got some stuff to talk about. We're getting ready to enter this bowl game against USC, the Holiday Bowl. This is coming up on the 27th, 2 days after Christmas. We got to talk about it. We got this Kentucky football game against Clemson. Let's talk about it. We got the rivalry. Let's talk about it. In basketball. I think KP's telling y'all he got something up his sleeve. I got my cousin that said that y'all ready for it. Everybody jump in. Tap in. UofL fans, go ahead and share this broadcast to y'all fan groups. I ain't part of y'all fan groups, so I need you guys to do that for me. We got Kentucky fans getting kicked out of fan groups. Come on, like and share. We'll get ready to do a little countdown here in just a second. You guys got 2 minutes to get in here, all right? 2 minutes to get in here. 2 minutes to get in here. Got some stuff to talk about. Let's go. Episode 15. Let's go. Got about a minute and 20 seconds, minute 15 seconds. Let's get in here. Now we got the Louisville fans waiting patiently in this one. 30 seconds. Let's go, guys. Let's get in here. Let's get it. Like and share. Like and share. Hey, guess what? It's time to go. It's time to get with it. What's going on, everybody? Let's going on, everybody out there, Facebook, YouTube. I am your host, William Washington. Yes, I'm a Kentucky fan, but guess what? We're going to be unbiased today because I have 2 Kentucky fans on the show and 2 Louisville fans on the show. Got some things to talk about. As y'all heard me to say before, Louisville's got a bowl game coming up. Kentucky football has a bowl game coming up. In the basketball, we have the rivalry game coming up this week. Both teams coming off of wins. Yes, both teams coming off of wins. You heard that right. Louisville, they won more games than they won last year already, all year. So we got to talk about that. Guess what else we got to talk about? We got to talk about this. We got to talk about this transfer portal because it's transfer mania right now. Louisville is killing it, actually. I give you guys props on that. Louisville, you guys are killing it. So let's go ahead and get everybody on the screen that's joining us today. The top right, his name, we call him Phil. So I'm going to call you PJ. What's happening, PJ?
Yeah. What's up, everybody? Cast by 90, Cast by 90. I know what it is.
Bottom left. We got Dietrich. What's happening, D?
What's happening? CATS, 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 cats.
There you go. He already knows. All right. The bottom right, we got with the beanie on. Rich, what's going on, Richard?
L1C4 forever, baby. Now that's
L1C4
my
forever.
slogan. Yes,
That's notice he said that's his slogan. All right. the top
recapturing my slogan.
the top right. What's happening, Dietrich? I mean, not Dietrich. What's happening, Perry? What's going on?
Our host has got to get our names right. That's
Yeah.
number one.
Hey,
That's a
the,
compliment.
B
the host.
A R
Oh,
D S
back up off that mic. Back up off that mic. All right.
R.
So let's get to it. Let's get to it. Kentucky coming off of 87-83 victory over North Carolina here on the hardwood basketball. I mean, it was a great win. I actually went back and rewatched some of it today. PJ, tell me, what did you see in that
Great
game?
win.
What gave you some excitement from that game?
Yeah, man. I think this is the second game in a row where I feel like we played a game that was not perfect,
Mm-hmm.
but we still found a way to win. I think we are slowly but surely finding out who our closers are. I know in a group that we are, I know me and you share.
Yeah.
I posted that picture that I think was a really good picture of DJ towards the end of the game, lined up with Ingram. He has a look on his face. He has his tongue out. He has a look
Mm-hmm.
like I'm about to go to work. And overall, just
And
man,
he
I
was
really
smiling. Yeah.
yeah, you could tell Bradshaw's kind of now things are kind of
Why is that a
turning
point?
right, and
Listen,
people are
hold
getting
up, time
acclimated.
out, time out, time
Why
out,
is that a
time
point?
out.
I got
We gotta hold up. Can I pause? I gotta pause this real quick, sirs. All right, so he made a point earlier about we have multiple closers and things. So it's not just about hey,
You need to be
he
faster.
looked, he
Ref,
was excited. Ding, it wasn't about that,
referee,
sir. And
referee, you need to be
for
faster with the
everybody
delayed call.
that is listening to us right now, there's an issue here. And when I give points, they think that there's one thinks that I'm biased towards Louisville just because I'm trying to be unbiased, and the others saying that I'm giving unnecessary points. He just made a good point about Kentucky having more than one closer. That was the point. I was delayed in
Well,
giving it.
yes.
Okay,
I don't like to. I don't
move
like to give
Will's
Kentucky
decisions
extra.
are final.
I don't
move
like to give
All
forward.
right.
Kentucky extra,
So
but he actually should have got 2 points because he made 2 points. But
See,
I'm
I'm giving him another one. Thank you,
trying to-
Richard. Go
yeah,
all
ahead.
right.
I'm just trying to be fair so that when it happens, I can legitimately say, "You see that? See how biased he is?" Yes, I'm setting you up. I'm giving you
Just to
just
finish
enough
up real
rope.
quick. Well, I think I get a couple more seconds because somehow was taken. But I think overall we're finding that they're finding ways to win the way they're closing games.
Mhm.
Um, again, as I mentioned, Aaron Bradshaw coming along. You're seeing now him kind of getting the flow. It's still a little not the smoothest, but it's there.
Yeah.
And having those different looks, even Uganda, I feel like people was very hard on him, but I feel like for the couple minutes that he played, he still got 3 blocks. Like he did what he is
Yeah.
supposed to do in the game: rebound and block the ball. Like
his
so,
his plus and minus wasn't the best, but he was effective when he got in there. Definitely, you can see some tools that you can work with. Dietrich, I mean, what did you see in that game? What got you out of your
I
seat?
I love this game. One thing that I love that got me out of my seat
Mm-hmm.
was the ISO at the end when they just kept going to Wagner in ISO over and over and over again.
Yeah,
Because the game was getting close, and I think Cal just said, "Hey, my guys are better than your guys. We're gonna stop with this complex running offense and just go head to head, almost like NBA style."
yeah.
So I love that. I love that.
I think
Also,
I think
go
that's
ahead.
where PJ gets that you got multiple closers because I mean he did that not only for Wagner but you seen Dillingham he made some
Oh
plays like
yeah,
that too at the end.
Dillingham was a beast in this one. Scored high. I think he scored more points than anybody else.
Yeah,
But that's
17
what we
points.
expect out of Dillingham. We actually wanted a little more scoring production from Reeves. But they probably locked in on him defensively. But Bradshaw, this is what his third game back, or second, or third.
I think it's what third
Hey,
game. Yeah,
third game. Hey, he's a
but
fish
really, a
in water.
second.
Yeah, really his second. He kind of like made an appearance, but really his second full game, he's made immediate impact. Immediate
yeah,
impact. And I know thinking earlier with our three big men that were hurt, how soon we get them
He made the
back,
impact. Yeah.
and then how long would it take to get them up to speed? But Bradshaw has come in and just really, really hit it. Now, the one thing that kind of discouraged me about the game was a problem that we had in the Kansas game, and it's generally a young team problem. It's closing out at halves.
So they
Closing
gave up that
the
10-point lead. Is that what you're talking
yeah. We haven't been closing out well at the end of halves. But in this game, in the first half and the second half, not closing out. That's why they lost the Kansas game, because they were up in the second half and could have pressed their way into a victory, but they did not close each half well. So that's got to be something Kyle's got to get into their head that, hey, don't look at 8 or 10 or 12 points and think we're going to coast through the end of a half. We got to put the pedal to the metal and get through the end of this game.
I will say that they did better situationally. You know, you could tell at the end of the game when they got underneath 5 minutes, they kind of pulled back on that speed a little bit, kind of worked the clock and try to execute in the half court a little bit better than what they did against Kansas. Definitely, against Kansas, definitely. Yeah. Go ahead, PJ. You had something else to say?
Yeah. I was going to say that I feel like the difference between this game and the Kansas game was when they punched back, we responded well. I think one of the other parts about basketball, period, this is just in any team, not just UK, but when you play good teams, you play good teams, man, and you have to give your heads off to some guys. I know, and one of my worries was we can't let RJ Davis get hot because he can score. He may not be an NBA prospect, but there are guys who are just great college players, but they may not be great, NBA prospects, and he's one of those. Same thing with Kansas. Ironically, two teams who are both well more seasoned. I think I seen today, Cormac, the kid that was the other cat that was scoring for North Carolina, he's 25 years old. He's almost 7 years older than DJ. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference on the floor against those experienced teams. But I love seeing how we punched back. Because as you mentioned, and I'll stop here. Though we stopped running complex things, we were still running things that were getting the matches that we wanted, and that's what you've seen.
Yeah,
you've seen the Wagner matchup,
the Mitchell,
Washington played for
mismatch.
That played, or Johnson that played for Louisville. He's seen a Cardinal. He said it's a bucket and got it on him. You know what I'm saying? You've seen Rob Dillingham go on RJ. You've seen the little curl action or the little drop out handoff with Reeves. Got a 2-point bucket, even though Reeves has struggled so much against Blue Bloods. I don't know what it is. He needs to go see somebody about that. But I'm glad we have the makeup of the team that we have now, where we have guys who shine the brightest when the lights turn on. They're not scared. They miss 2 shots, they still coming back with more.
Yeah, and Thiero, I like Thiero the way he showed up in the game. He got into some foul trouble, which kind of messed with him a little bit. But he was playing above the rim. He was getting blocks. He was making things happen, even though, those are the type of things that didn't show up in the scoring or in the box score per se. But he was making things happen for the team. This team can beat a lot of teams out there.
Yeah, and you know what? I got to give some kudos to Perry on one thing. I'm gonna go ahead and let's do it another time, because you told me earlier this season that Thiero reminded you of Draymond Green, and I was like, what in the world? And actually, there was some pundits that I seen on Twitter that actually brought up the same comparison. And it wasn't that their games were alike, but things that they do were really similar between the two. And so I had to give you a shout out on that, because Perry be off sometimes. I just be like, I don't know what in the world that man's seeing, but he was good on that. Now, because he didn't say it he didn't make the point on this broadcast. So he's not getting the point. So I give that to you, man. So let's go ahead. We still got less than 20 seconds left. I mean, after seeing this game, Richard, I don't know how much of this game have you seen. Like, what if you see Kentucky play North Carolina, do you say, okay, this is how we attack Kentucky? Or is it
Okay, first off, no, I'm not putting Louisville on that, because even if we had a squad, that it wouldn't work, because we don't have that kind of talent. But what I saw from this game was pretty much like how you all played Kansas. As a matter of fact, the one thing that I thought that you all improved on was the fact that y'all could close out this game. Like I said, you all played them, in my opinion, kind of like you played Kansas. You went out there, you dominated a team that you knew you had to impress, and you did it in a dominating fashion from start to finish. But this time you finished it out. And so
Yeah.
Hands off. My hand clapped to Kentucky.
All right.
They had a better squad out there than North Carolina.
Look, because Louisville, I don't want to gloss over this one aspect of it though, because Louisville, you guys did have your win against Pepperdine. What was it? It was 85-63. I guess it has not only another win, the fifth win of the season, which is more than last year's, but it has to be the highest victory. Isn't the highest victory for KP?
That's what they're saying. But are we done talking with Kentucky? Y'all don't have a little bit more to say about that before we get on?
Well,
to
no, because
because we got to cover both sides. We got to cover both sides.
I don't think
I got something to say about
I don't
UK.
think Kentucky.
Well, let's finish talking about UK so we can.
No.
Before you jump in, Perry.
I didn't get to say nothing.
Okay.
Before you jump in, Perry, he said they closed out well. I don't think that was the case because they were
y'all
big.
closed out better. Y'all closed out better.
They responded. Like I think Phil said it best.
Okay.
They responded when they saw it slipping.
Wait a minute.
He made the. Oh, did he make the point? All right, I'll take the point off.
I
take the point off.
This is
I make the distinction between closing out.
Don't give him a point because he's talking on my time. So don't give him a point.
So Perry, go ahead. What did you see in that game, man? What did you see in the game? Kentucky versus North Carolina.
What I saw, and I made this observation when I watched North Carolina before, is they're not a very good defensive team, which sort of baffled me that UK finished the game shooting like 38% or 40%.
Yeah, a little bit over 40. It was 41%.
It baffled me, and I expected UK to really beat North Carolina by 20 or 30 because I don't think North Carolina is a very good team. I know they've got a couple of athletes, and I know we want to say North Carolina is the North Carolina of old, but nothing could be further from the truth. I don't think these dudes are going to get out of the second weekend or the first weekend of the NCAAs.
Gotcha.
I don't think they're going to be a strong contender in the ACC. So for me, we're giving UK a lot of accolades that, again, y'all got the best high school players that are, some of these guys should be playing for overtime.
Let me give you some points over there.
Your expectation should be that you guys are winning and winning better than this with the type of players you are, with the maestro of one and done at the helm. So
let me ask you this: devil's advocate. Hold on, devil's advocate for a second, because you said that they should have beat them by 20 or 30, and they're not that good. Talking about North Carolina. What about when you say that somebody rebuts to you that you're inserting 2 7-footers and you're playing a slightly different way than you played the earlier part of the season? You're trying to insert a different style. And because of that, there was some, like PJ had already said, it wasn't smooth, but you can see what they're doing. It led to 14 turnovers, which is a high for Kentucky on the season. What would you say to that?
I would say, again, there were some spotlights on. I feel like that's a young team. You guys are a young team in some aspects. Just looking at how you handled Armando Bacot, you guys, and the way UConn handled him, it's like he was silent. He wasn't a factor. And so, to me, the fact that you guys eliminated him and North Carolina still was, you could literally see North Carolina struggling to run their sets. To me, that showed me that you guys had a dominance about you, but you didn't carry through, and you should have carried through, because there's been teams with the same amount of talent as this one that has literally put it on teams like North Carolina. Yes, you are inserting 2 big men in your lineup, but you played well, I'm sure, during the game. I think I watched a few, maybe 2 minutes of it. I'm sure during the game there were times where Cal took all the big men out and had his normal starting season lineup in.
Yeah, there was some.
And if that lineup did not have a plus minus of like plus 20, then there's a problem, because that's the lineup that they're used to playing. You can't get, y'all did good, man. Y'all beat a North Carolina team that you should have beaten. To me, there was no doubt in my mind y'all were going to win. If there was anybody's fans' mind, I mean, there shouldn't.
Go ahead, Richard.
Well, I was just going to say that the fact that you had a big man come in who's only played 2 games the whole season, so that chemistry change right there, and then the fact that you all did go up plus 10 multiple times in the game, and this is on a neutral court. Had they played at Rupp Arena, it would probably contribute to maybe another 5 or 6 extra points in that scoring margin. And then again, this is a higher ranked North Carolina team, so they're coming in humped up. I don't know if that means anything, but nevertheless, I thought y'all dominated the team the way I didn't see no problem with that. Like I said, North Carolina's coming in here. This is a team that you all play regularly, every other year or every year. One of the, so it's not like it's a team that doesn't play you all and doesn't know how to play you all, regardless of what kind of talent or what kind of experience is on the court. These are like rival games in a sense, so they're going to come in automatically knowing how to play UK, kind of like the way an experienced U of L team or a better coached U of L team would do. This is a rivalry game.
Go ahead,
so
P.
I'd be surprised. So
go ahead, P.
Yeah,
one last thing to say, but I'll go ahead, P.
No, go ahead. Yeah, I think so. I know the similar to I'm not trying to dig or nothing at Perry, but it's ironic to me that every time UK has a victory, we're supposed to win by 20. Your expectations for UK is way bigger than actual fans. I just want to say that because here's the thing: I haven't seen not one team beat North Carolina by 20. Now, mind you, I watched when they played against UConn, and the difference between us and the UConn game is UConn just got a couple more stops and they sustained a little bit better. Mm-hmm. But UConn is a very, very good team. They did not just run away from North Carolina. We can't act like North Carolina. Oh, this is some little no. North Carolina has a good makeup. Core makers are good. They have a good starting five. Now they're not as deep as what they should be or have been in the past, but it's a good solid team. I think the whole thought process that we should be beating teams by 20 with the best players wrong. Isaiah Collier is the best point guard and the best rated player in the country. He does not play for University of Kentucky.
Who does he play for
USC, and they are 5-5 with Bonnie James. And Einfield will be fired after the season. But I'm saying, we the expectations from Louisville fans, most notably Louisville fans,
just a Louisville fan.
Louisville fans, because there's many like you that think that.
There's stuff on Twitter.
20. And I'm like, what game are we watching? Where first of all, this is not a bad team, and just because we have some good players does not mean we're supposed to beat every team by 20.
Yeah, that's true. I think one thing that needs to be, when you say they should win by 20 and Kentucky had the best talent and all this other stuff, I think one factor in that is kind of went out the window is we're still talking about what you just said, the best high school players. We still got to get AAU out of them. And Calipari said they still – Calipari is saying they still got a lot of that high school stuff in them that they're trying to get out, and you can kind of see it from time to time. So, when you say that
he's doing that, but you can tell he's getting that high school out of them because he's getting them to play team ball. He's getting them to play defense. They had 13 assists in the game. They had 8 blocks. They had 8 blocks. I mean, that's team ball. You don't get blocks. These were not one-on-one blocks. These were rotating defensive blocks where the off-ball defender rotates in to help. So he's getting them to play like college players, and I saw that more in this game than I've seen in their past games.
Yeah. So go ahead and
I just wanted to say, like I said, your expectation of your team. You guys are really. It wasn't that I was trying to say UNC should have beat them by 20. I did say that, but what I'm saying is you guys are fluffing a win over North Carolina as if this is a North Carolina coached by somebody else other than Hubert Davis, who just was on the cusp of having a losing season last year.
They've only lost to Villanova.
Hold on, fam. Hold on. Let me finish my thought. All right.
Go ahead, my brother.
The expectation is that you guys are fluffing a win that. If you didn't expect to win against North Carolina, and I know you guys are saying UNC had them cornered too, and UNC does not have the athletes that UK has. UNC does not. I mean, UNC. I'm sorry, UConn. UConn does not have the NBA talent. You guys are already pre-ranked. They're already moving up the draft charts. Yes, they came from high school. Yes, they played AAU ball, but isn't AAU ball sort of translatable to the NBA? Hence, we have a lot of guys. I said sort of. I didn't say definite. Sort of. There are some players that can rise above it. They were saying some of these guys on your team are some of the best, period. In high school, some of them are the best in some levels. Bradshaw, he's one of the best centers. Yes, he still has to be
those ratings are based on potential.
Exactly. And so you have
I'm going to give you some points, Barry. I'm going to give you some points, man, even though I don't agree.
You don't have a Dennis Gates coaching these guys. You don't have a Chris Mack coaching these guys. You have the maestro. So the expectation is he's going to get the best out of these players.
What? Hold up.
Especially these types.
Time out. Go back.
Woo.
Who's coaching these players?
John Calipari.
No. What'd you say earlier? The who?
You don't have a Dennis Gates.
No. You said you the who?
Coaching these players.
Just the
The
who?
maestro. The maestro.
Lord, guys, I'm telling you, here,
The maestro.
guys, we're having a
You know,
breakthrough.
Guy for the job.
This season has
We're having a
humbled-
breakthrough.
has humble Louisville fans.
I'm telling you, I get another round of applause because he said it again. Go ahead, PJ.
This,
Go ahead,
this is
PJ.
coming from the same UK fans that gave Brom all this credit and hype during season 2 when they were going through. So watch your mouth.
Good, PJ, you're on mute. PJ, you're on mute.
Yeah.
Because hey, he had the finger going and everything.
Lord knows when it's time to.
Hey, why he's getting his technical stuff
Okay.
together?
Y'all hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you.
Listen, I think we need to appeal to remove some of these points because of as someone who follows this very closely, I'm gonna be honest with you. This is considered to be one of the worst draft classes. One of the worst classes, period, is the 2023 class. So actually, the expectation is kind of no, it's not there because
you talking about the freshmen or the class overall?
The recruiting class.
Class, as in, a lot of people are upset. Will be upset if you go to draft Twitter, which is a whole thing. They are upset that they see somebody like Reed Shepard in the lottery. They're upset they see DJ Wagner up in the first round because they don't believe that these guys in a regular year are guys that will be in the area. Again, which is different from the rankings because, like I said before, rankings are not synonymous. They're not the same. Cooper Flagg is way better than anybody. If you go look at, if I was to take you to show you the best players, regardless of class, including 2023, they're going to show you Cooper Flagg. They're going to show you AJ DeBenza. They're going to show you the Boozer, one of the Boozer twins. They're not even going to show you most of the kids from the 2023 class because that's how they view them. Even Aaron Bradshaw. I see people upset on draft Twitter like, no. You might as well. There's no reason to tank this year. Is what they're telling
why
the
they go
NBA
to Calipari though to clear up.
But
that
hear me out though. But again,
he's the one that can clear it up.
We have to. But here goes the lane or the goalpost. I'm talking about you. It continues to move because at 1 minute we talk about how much the freshmen that they should be dominating and all these different things, and then you got your team right who got guys who are ranked top 25 McDonald's All-Americans, and they are horrible. Now mind you.
That proves my point.
No, it
point.
No,
Payne can't get the best out of
it. It's not about getting the best. It's not about not just get the best. The talent level that we're talking about that we see. Yes, Rob has talent. Yes, DJ has talent. Yes, even Aaron has talent. But you're fluffing up a lot as far as even what they are. Is what I'm saying. As much as you talk about us fluffing up now, you talked about.
I said y'all fluffed up the win.
Said, okay, again,
y'all made it seem like y'all beat the North Carolina of 2 years ago.
Here's the
Final
thing,
14.
And that's my point.
Nah, it's not about that, man.
Last thing, that's what I'm about to say. Last thing,
I got you.
You're talking about Hubert, who just went to the didn't make it to the tournament, but it's the same Hubert that just went to the national championship game the year prior.
Mike Davis 2.0.
You got to pick one. You got to pick one.
They don't know.
And I would argue to say that this team that they have right now is more talented than the team they had that went to the championship game.
Well,
but listen. The point he makes is what a lot of fans make about coaching. They overemphasize the impact of the coach on a team. And for coaching, the higher up in sports world you go, the less percentage that coach plays. By the time you get to pro, that coach is really not even – they could play the game without the coach almost. You know, you're more talking about your positional coaches, your trainers that actually impact the team more than just the coach. At the college level, yes, the coach is still majorly important, but you're making like the coach makes the team. That's not the truth. The players plus the coach plus the work ethic plus the environment plus the cohesion plus all of this, that's what makes college sports, so magical and fun to watch, is because you can't just take this ranked guy, this ranked guy, this ranked guy plus a magic coach and you're going to get a championship. It doesn't work like that.
That's true. I've been trying to refrain from giving Kentucky points, but yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. So, any rebuttals to that? Because I know Perry he has plenty of rebuttals. He looks like
I
he's on a
do,
radio show for real. Go ahead.
but we talking too much about UK. We talking too much about men's college basketball. Period.
They don't
We
want
can
to
go
talk
because
about
straight
this
to the women.
subject.
because I've
Got me, brother.
transitioned to this subject once before, so we'll try it again. See how it goes. Louisville, Kentucky. Louisville has won
Louisville, Kentucky.
against Pepperdine. Pepperdine Waves, 85-63. Give it up to them. 85-63. And guess what? Coach KP has his 5th win of the season. That's up 5-6 right now, and I believe the largest victory of his
Officially
tenure
a
right
more
now.
successful season.
Yes.
Officially more successful.
And Louisville,
By the numbers.
Louisville. If I look at the stats, it looks like that you guys shot lights out and did a good job, at least on defense on the perimeter. Is that what you saw in that, Richard?
No, on the perimeter, I saw that we had a bunch of defensive breakdowns still in the paint. They pick and roll. I mean, and they just ate the back end of us up on that pick and roll. It was just sad.
Got you.
For the most part, looks like they were able to connect and score several buckets back to back this time and keep momentum. In previous games, they'd come down, maybe hit 2 buckets, and then they'd go ice cold for 2 or 3 minutes. And then while the opposition was able to connect and score on the opposite end, so it made the game out of reach. But this time, I still saw some same old stuff. White is definitely not a point guard. I don't know why he. I just saw stuff where he just, okay, dude. You know, I know you're a sophomore, and hopefully you'll grow out of this. And hopefully next year, if you're with us next year, these are learning experiences. But still passing stupidly, still, just making bonehead point guard mistakes. Yeah. But other than that, yeah, it was their highest victory margin for the season, except for the Simeon game, which was in the exhibition game.
Yeah, we're knocking that out. We blocking that out. It's exhibition.
Yeah, I think all the scuttlebutt around town is he's on a win and you're in kind of season. You win this game, and the next game you keep your job. You still with us. Now, hopefully they're not counting the UK game, because I don't care if he won every game up to this point. He's not winning that game.
They're gonna try to guilt. They're gonna try to guilt Calipari into letting them win that game.
Y'all ain't, even if y'all do, the players are not going to allow that, and there's just no way unless y'all sit down and let your walk-ons play the rest of the game. I just don't see Louisville winning on any level in that game. Now, at the same time, if it's close, Kenny, there may be some hope in him retaining the job for the rest of the season. But he's got to maintain this momentum throughout the ACC conference, beat those scrub teams at the bottom of the conference, and continue this momentum for him to keep his job. But anything less than that, he's gone. He should have been gone after the debacle at DePaul, but here we are.
So Perry, Mag says, remember when I asked win or lose 10 games first, you and Arkansas State as a for sure win. What do you say now?
Well, you talking to me, or is that for me or Perry?
I was talking to Perry, but if you want to answer, go ahead.
Well, I said 8-3, 8-4, whatever is what he should have brought into the UK game. I didn't think we'd get 10 wins because I didn't see us beating Texas or Indiana and Virginia Tech. Those are 3 losses right there. So we'd have to sweep do 2 out of 3 of those, and I didn't think we had it, regardless of what kind of team we put out there. But
gotcha.
Nevertheless, the DePaul game totally took my spirit away. You do not lose to a 1-7 DePaul.
I think that's the one that really did it for a lot of people, because you marked that down as, okay, DePaul is terrible, so we're going to win this game, and then it doesn't happen. It's just like,
I'm going to do my Barkley. DePaul is horrible.
So Perry, what about what Mag says? Well, what do you think now?
I mean, I said I didn't need 10 wins. He needed to be gone. He shouldn't have won 4 games. He should have won more than 4 games last year. That's literally the gist of it. It's nothing about support. There's no excuse. None on the face of this planet. I don't care what Dietrich says. He just needs support. He just needs more fans. No, you don't ever win 4 games at a school like that. There's just no precedence for that.
Yeah.
There's none. And so I look at Baylor and some of the things they went through, and then when they got their coach back, look at how many games he won in his first year. Let's compare how many games he won in his first year, and then how he built on that.
Mhm.
Coming off of a tragedy, of somebody dying, one of the players getting killed by another player, and the coach trying to cover that up. That was a tragedy and a tragedy in itself. I mean, it was just crazy.
Mhm.
So we're building off. We're trying to say, well, if he's 10 games, he needs to stay. We're not Baylor. We don't have the history that we have more history. We have more history, and I know it works out to something to do with pride, but we have more resources, more history than Baylor. We should not be where we're at right now. So I was ready for him to be gone after we lost to Chattanooga.
And you're
I
still
tried to
ready
give
for him. Okay, so here's
ready.
the dilemma. Here's the dilemma then. So do you? Because it seems like that he's in this one game tournament. You win and you advance. Hopefully against that's not against Kentucky, like Richard said. But here's the dilemma: do you, as a Louisville fan, cheer for your team to win, or do you?
I'm just passive. I didn't even watch the game
Okay.
yesterday. I have to confess. Y'all hearing my confession? Confess your faults one to another.
Thank you for being honest, because you never did tell me that they pounded the ball inside to
Nope.
BHH with his 20 points on anything.
I'm
No, they did.
totally
I mean,
passive.
he was a beast in that game. He was a beast, and like I said, I saw
Yeah.
him. He was a beast in that game.
Perry, don't say yes. You didn't watch the game.
No, I didn't watch the game. I was gonna say he's been a beast in other games. He's been like sort of our best, most consistent player when they can get him the ball.
I got a point to
When
make.
old boy is not screwing up and
Mike James
doing
had
his
19.
thing.
I got a point to make.
What's that? Go for it.
So, yeah, I recall Perry did not watch the Louisville game, but he could tell us about the Kentucky game. All right, let's go to the next point.
Okay,
I
I got something to say.
Go ahead, Rich. Go ahead, Richard.
I think overall with this, I don't know about the rest of the fan base, but I was expecting him to come in kind of like the way Rick Pitino came into UK when Eddie Sutton put y'all on probation, and he came in, and you all were what was the team called that year with Richie Farmer and all of them, and
Latinos, Bambinos.
Bambinos, the scrapping team. Although y'all didn't make it to the tournament, y'all got blowed out in most of your games. Y'all played close,
we could not. We were barred from postseason play.
Y'all were barred for postseason play.
I think his
Most
first year.
fans expected Kenny Payne to direct a season like that when he came in and lose four. I mean, to only win 4 games was just that was the heartbreak. But and then fans keep saying, well, he didn't create the mess. He didn't create the turmoil that was surrounding the program when he got in here. True, but it doesn't matter what's going on off the court. The product on the court is indifferent from what's going on all around it. We still were better than 4 victories, and we are still better than 5. I mean, we should be better than 5 victories this year, and it's just deplorable. Like I said, after that DePaul loss, I don't care what anybody says. That DePaul loss is an immediate fire for any coach coaching a blue chip program, Division I. You do that. That is an immediate fire.
So okay, what if he?
But Payne
What if he
work
got
for a blue chip program? So it should.
He does. We are.
Oh God! Do not open that can of worms. Do not open that can of worms.
Straight up serious. I'm being straight up serious.
I'm sorry.
In everybody's rule book, Louisville is a top 10 basketball program. Plain and simple.
What you say? Say it again.
I said in everybody's rule book, Louisville is a top 10 basketball program.
Yeah.
Now, we haven't been playing with it as late, but you do not come in here. I don't care what's going on off the court, what kind of talent. A coach does not come into Louisville and lose to that DePaul team. I don't care what. That's an immediate fire. I don't care who it is. Pitino probably would have been fired had he came in year 1 and lost to DePaul or been close to it. They probably would have put him on probation. There'd have been a lot of talk, but you don't come into this program and lose to that DePaul team. And
go ahead, Perry. What'd you have to say? I got to give you some points right there.
I remember Pitino's first UK team just like I remember Mark Stoops' first UK team. And I remember they gave Stoops, what was it, a $10 million extension? And I was like,
He knows a lot about Kentucky sports.
And what did you say? What did you say, Lathan? You said,
You hurting us,
well,
you hurting us.
they said he's organized. They said he's organized. He showed there's a lot of change that's coming forward.
Hey,
they said that they
Sean Gerton, this is the reason why we asked you about being on the show. This is why we asked you about being on the show.
Needs to be on our side.
I made a point. Dietrich, your curtains are too dark. There's a gun back there. We know the assassins are back there. The witness protection program, man. You need to get off there. But listen, but you told me, Lathan, you said, well, he showed a lot of different changes in the way he was organizing things. They could see that he was building on some stuff. Mm-hmm. We don't see that with Kenny Payne, man.
We don't see none of that.
No, you know what?
We see a lot of incompetence, and the teams that he's beaten are teams that are more incompetent than him. We don't see a sense of dominance. We don't.
If you just gonna keep letting them talk, Will, they just gonna keep scoring points. So
I know. I'm trying to stop him, but I agree with you on that because with Stoops, she could see the blueprint right there, and you just need to build on top of that. You really don't see that with KP, and I'll tell you myself, when you guys went on a losing streak to DePaul and then to Arkansas State, I was watching that Arkansas State game, and I'm just like, there is something that he's not coaching. He's not getting the communication across to the players. Something is happening right there.
Dude,
and
we came a missed free throw away from losing to a team with 4 guys on the court.
So
exactly. Go ahead, PJ.
I will say this. So I think this is something. I mean, I get it. I get it. When you are leading a program, you deserve. But I want to point something out though. Will, with all that UK, we talk about Stoops managing, kind of getting the blueprint right. Mm-hmm. How many of those assistants went on to another job early on?
Early on, yeah, a lot of them, yeah.
They were going.
Yeah, the assistant coaches.
From who? On the side, man.
From UK. I'm talking about the football.
Oh, Mags is talking about you keeping up with UK, Perry. If you was talking about who, he's talking about you. Yeah. JE is supposed to be WPH.
Yeah,
know thy enemy.
So, but what I'm saying is though, again, we had assistants moving on, right? We had assistants moving on, head coach jobs, all those things.
Yeah,
right now there is not anyone on staff I would give a head coaching job.
But see, and that was none. And to me, that's the reason why I said that was one of his biggest problems is when he came in and formed his coaching staff. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I think people are glazed. I know one reason why they're not getting on Nolan is because Nolan's is from the Coach K tree. You're not allowed to touch Coach K's disciples. But at the end of the day, he's done like
Kenny Payne though.
He's also done, but Kenny Payne. He does.
Derek Smith was his father, Louisville great.
I know that. Yeah, I mentioned it last time.
But
I'm saying,
go ahead, PJ.
As a tree,
as he was about to say that he was that Nolan Richards is horrible. Yes,
Nolan is horrible. He okay. Look, here's the thing about basketball. I think people miss this. Even with Cal, right? Cal's not the first person to see the prospects that we go after. The assistants have a job. The scouts have a job to take those. They bring it back. Like, what do you think about this guy? This guy, he does this, he does that. They start to go out and see him, right? When your lead recruiter is somebody of his status, Nolan, who's supposed to have the connects, just like Kenny does, right? He's been around college just as much, right? Because KP left to go to the NBA. He knows the scenery, and you go out and you are pushing the guys to lead your team, such as Sky Clark, like I mentioned again. Horrible job. Mm-hmm. I would never give you a head coaching job for someone. That's like giving Joel Justice a job for what he does.
Yeah, and that's the reason why Joel Justice ain't with you because you can't anymore. Yeah.
So I feel like again, KP definitely deserves all the criticism, but I feel like it's a lot of we're just focusing on him. That man, you got to think about it's the whole. That's what I mean by support. It's the whole group. Whole group.
I mean, Mags makes a point right here. He's just sitting talent alone. Yeah, go ahead, Perry.
That's what they say. That's what they say, Mags.
That's
what they say, Mags. You roll the ball out. You roll the ball out, and you just win.
Let's clarify that
because you got the best high school players.
Move the goalpost a little bit. Let's move
the goalpost.
They have moved.
Well, I'm moving it for that to answer Mag's question. Talent alone should have got us more than 4 wins with this schedule. Now, I'm not talking about a Louisville schedule any other regular season. This schedule, this pre-conference schedule, out-of-conference schedule, was nothing but layup games to specifically get us the wins in the conference. We played equivalent to a UK football schedule in our out-of-conference. And I'm not joking. These games, except for Texas and Indiana and Virginia Tech, because that was scheduled ACC game, The rest of them games were layups. We should have been blowing their backs out. We
That's
should
true.
not have come close. Let's just take DePaul. We already talked about that. Arkansas State. It shouldn't have been life or death. We barely winning in overtime with a team that's only got 4 people on the court.
No, y'all didn't win. Y'all didn't win though.
Who's the other team that we just won by 1 point? Was that UMCB? Who the devil was that we won by 1 point?
Yep, UMCB. That was the first game of the season.
We barely beat Bellarmine. I remember.
Okay, Bellarmine is another. Well,
but I mean, have a 2-game win streak on us.
I'm just saying, these were layups. So to answer your question, talent alone should have gotten us more than 4 wins in this out of conference game.
But don't you guys think? Let me ask you a question though. Don't you think that a lot of this has to do with team leadership as well, not just coach? Because look, you have a game like
Nolan pulling in Scott Clark.
No, I'm just saying because you have a game where you play against Texas. Texas is not too shabby. Y'all lose by 1 point. You guys take that down to the wire. So obviously you guys have something there. You played Indiana tough as well, but then you come back and you lose to DePaul, and it's kind of like all that can't be on the coach. So, some of it can be, but you have to have some player led.
Any floor generals? We don't. Yeah. Everybody seems to be. I'm gonna get mine. And when I get mine, or if I make a mistake, nobody's on the team telling them, "Hey,
yeah." I agree with you. Do you know why they're like that? They're like that because they're seeing. They got Twitter too. They're like that because they see that this place is a dumpster fire. Fire Kenny Payne every week. So now I got to get my numbers up so I can get a good transfer deal.
That's what it's all about. That's not a bad. That's not a bad thought, honestly. Go ahead, PJ.
Because I think
he's the only one that's raising his hand.
Yeah. Because look, so the last game, who was it y'all lost to? Right, not y'all after before Pepperdine. Y'all lost to
Arkansas State.
Arkansas State. So and this is my thing when I was telling some little fans I was talking to. Listen, you come into that game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hardly any fans in the stands.
Yeah, that's a
shame. A player you came.
Hold
on, wait. Came up to the game with a player that you came on the campus with, been working with. That issue of him saying that, I'm still coming around, I'm still here, and then the university putting out that no, actually you're not part of here. You think players we think that guys are just robots, and they just come out there and play. Like that's not how this works. I watched I could go to high school, and I told y'all before with Frederick Douglass, it was no reason why Douglass should have played that Friday night after what happened in that event. Still prayers for that family. Like that affects any human being with a mind. It's going to affect you. And so you talk about coming to the game. It's not just I got the more talent of this team, but there are mental things that happen. I just talked about Reeves, right? For some reason, when he plays against Blue Bloods, it's something there that he's kind of psyching himself out. And it's not the looks because the looks are there, but it's something mentally that's there that's blocking that he's not be able to perform at the level that he usually does in other games. And I think that's players. You can't expect players to come in. All this stuff's going around. You talk about firing my coach, the guy that brought me here. You're talking about the guy that's kicked off the team who I was battling with all summer long and grinding with all summer long, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And now you tell me I got to come in here and look at 12 fans in a 20,000 seated arena and play basketball.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what it. I'm gonna tell you what it does, though. I'm gonna tell you what it does in this day and age. When you do that, and you're talking about fire the coach, the player feels like that they have upper hand over the coach. They have more power than the coach. So then it comes. Then it comes to why am I listening to you? I'm gonna last longer than you are. Shut up.
But
that's what happens.
To me, that's an administration problem.
I would agree with that, except for the fact that in the Coppin whoever, that was the second game of the season. Coppin State. The performance on the court was so pathetic that stuck out first before they started calling for Kenny Payne's head.
Y'all won by 20 that game though.
No, the Coppin State game we lost.
No, y'all won by 20. You talking about Chattanooga game?
I'm talking Chattanooga. I'm sorry. Okay. My fault. Chattanooga. The performance on that game, Chattanooga game, was on the players. We saw them going up and down the court with, we're not playing with any kind of fire, any kind of passion. That was going on before people were seriously talking about let's fire Kenny Payne. He's on a win and you're in or a one-game tournament win scenario. that was happening the second game in the season. We were talking about the performance of the team and the players and what they were doing and how they didn't look like they had any leadership out there on the court.
But I mean, yeah, because some of that has to do with the leadership on the team. But I'm just saying, overall, in the whole, you talking about firing the coach. They're going to feel like they got an open hand over the coach. They don't need to listen to the coach. He's going to be out.
And that's also not just the fans, but that's
Perry. You're doing something on your end.
That's the administration issue as well. I heard the administration met with the players. I don't know if that's a true rumor or not. That was put out there. I don't know if that's true. But if an administration comes and meets and has a conversation with players, there's nothing about that that's going to be good.
I was going to say that you made a great point right there, because that is kind of odd that your administration would do that. Usually if your administration does that, then you've already made the fire. And you're telling the players what's going on. You don't go in and do that to figure out if I should fire this person or not, because you're already cut off the man's head. You right now, you got a headless coach. He hasn't even got
to league play. I had been saying, and I posted that this really the treatment of Kenny Payne, even though he has failed and he deserves certain criticisms, the way that they have handled the situation has not been fair to Kenny Payne so far, in my opinion.
That's true.
You either back your guy or you let your guy go. You back your guy or you let your guy go. You don't play this him and Han and let's see what he does the next 2 games. He's got to have 8 games by the time he plays Kentucky. Listen, is he your guy? Is he not? You've had him for a year. You had him for a recruiting cycle. Is he the guy or not? Let's stop playing games. And I think that's partly on the administration.
I would agree with that. But again, in this out-of-conference schedule, you do not lose to DePaul. You do not have a life or death game with 4 guys on the court. You do not lose to Chattanooga. You do not barely beat Bellarmine.
I agree
with you.
These
are lay-up games this season.
Hey, look, I gave you that point. Hold on. I gave you that point, Richard. Because I mean, you're right. You don't lose to those. But do you have any complaints with how the administration themselves is handling this? With the different things that's come out, with the different things that's happened, do you have a problem with how the administration is handling this?
I think their hands are tied. I mean, they're to some degree. Until here does something and moves forward, I think their hands are tied. There's only so much that he can do, because you fire a coach at this juncture of the season, you have to have a replacement for him. Nolan is too young. Manning, he lame ducked it from Maryland and they were horrible.
Wake Forest.
They were sort of no. He was the assistant coach that took over for Turgeon when Turgeon left in the middle of the season from Maryland, I think 2 years ago. And so they didn't go anywhere under him. He's just not a good high level coach.
I agree with you. They are. I agree with you. They are. They are hands are tied.
I think what's missing is, thank you, Dietrich, is that Payne has not established leadership on the court. Right, Payne.
That was not playing. I promise you. I'm sorry.
Listen,
good. Nothing in Shondo.
What I'm saying is, Payne has not established a leader on the court, and we know that Sky Clark ain't the one. He needs to go ahead and bring Johnson forward and say, "Okay, we're gonna live or die with this guy. We're gonna live or die with this guy. I'm gonna try to manage him the best way I can." Instead of bringing him off the bench, I think this last game he started him against Arkansas. I mean, against who they played this. I don't know. I didn't watch the game, bro. Y'all pray for me. Pepper died. Max, you got a point. It does speak to the heart of the players, but it's hard to have a heart when you come in and your coach is being fired, like Dietrich just said, like Lathan said, your coach is being fired. You could probably have some players that are holding the team hostage. I would say Sky Clark is probably one of them ones, and White. It feels like Payne made promises to them, and so he's trying to keep up with those promises for something future in the future.
Can I say one thing about the administration before you go to Phil?
Go ahead.
Before you go to Phil, if the administration's hands are tied, if they can't do any,
you done cocked out. All right, Phil, go ahead while he's working on his audio.
About to take some hot mess.
Yeah, go ahead, Phil.
All right, back, Dietrich.
Are you back yet, D? Test your mic. Nope, you're not back yet. All right, go ahead, Phil.
All right. So, what I was gonna say, just back to Mag's point of what Max was saying, because we got here, was I think it is funny, and we talked about this earlier when this all happened. Right? Is this whole concept of like you just take the ball and you roll it out, and guys go out there and they win you games.
Hold on 1 second. Perry, not Perry, Dietrich, I just got an error on my side, and it looks like something that Switcher Studio did mess with your audio. Go ahead and disconnect and reconnect, okay? All right.
Yeah.
Go
So
ahead.
again, I was just saying that like it is funny. I mentioned this earlier in the season when we first started this, was like this whole concept that remember, I don't know if you remember this, Will, and I think this is what Mag's alluding to, is the whole roll the ball out. Like you just roll the ball out, you have these guys, and they're just gonna go out there and win games for you, pretty much. And I think it is funny because now you're seeing, I think on the other side, I mentioned this earlier. I said, I think ironically, Louisville fans are seeing the same thing we had said. Now, not in a different manner, but we had struggles early season. We're like, look, it takes a little bit to build. It takes a little bit for guys to. You think it takes a little bit to do this,
Not
do that.
5 and 6. Not-
Again, I said not the same. It's not the same, but I'm saying you're seeing shades of it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, what I'm saying overall is that for someone, if talent is all you need, that means the coach can be horrible and just win regardless. Which is the kind of the same thing we've heard again. The whole John's not really a good coach; it's just a talent. Well, if that's the case, then why are we not 5-3 or
He
5
had
and
number
6?
one recruiting classes every year, number 1 or 2. It's no
It's not-
comparison. We are nowhere near that in recruiting.
Well, I'll tell you this.
It's a bad comparison.
If anything, Louisville fans have to have some kind of appreciation for Calipari for all those years when y'all said that he just rolled the ball out and all you guys have all that talent and the talent is doing all that.
Rick
That's not the
Pitino's
case.
first season at UK, he went 15-15.
Dietrich, say something.
A bunch of
Louisville had the
country
number
boys.
6. Louisville had the
Country
number
boys from
6
Kentucky.
recruiting
I
class.
think Dietrich is asleep.
Louisville had the number 6. Louisville had the number 6. Louisville had the number 6 recruiting class
It's not number
in the
1.
country. It doesn't matter. Y'all
And
the
you
number.
just
Y'all
said,
the
you
number.
just said it was the
I
worst
don't think
recruiting
that
class.
matters.
So-
I think,
I know, I'm
I
just
kind of
telling-
agree with you on
I'm-
PJ. That doesn't matter.
But understand, you see what Sean Gurton said. He said Louisville doesn't have John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, Anthony Davis.
We don't
Come
either.
on, man.
He's talking about Calipari's first year. We're talking about Pitino when he got there in what 90 and
Dietrich, say
89,
something.
88 or whatever. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you
You
good.
know
Back
how-
blowed out by Kansas, 150
Yeah.
to 95. But
Yeah,
everything
speaking
else
of
was
which, on a
50 to
different
50.
subject, real quick, you know how I don't know if y'all seen that meme where that guy over in Turkey or Iran got up in the middle of his conference.
That's what's happening.
As soon as he finished talking, the Lord dropped dead. That's what happened to Dietrich. So you got to watch your mouth, man. Before you start talking bad about Louisville, that's what's going to happen. It's going to be slice.
What was you getting ready to say, Dietrich? Go ahead. What was you getting ready to say, D?
Careful.
No,
Careful.
I was just gonna say if the administration's hands are tied, then they just got to go 100% in on their guy and stop all this and fill the Yum Center still fill it up because I know the stadium changed the name, but get the students. Listen, we got $5 tickets, $1 tickets. Fill the stadium, get somebody to support this team, and just get through the season. What you can't have is a bunch of red seats, no cheers, rumors, nobody reassuring these players that they're going to be taken care of. You know, the administration has to do something to show the kids on the team that the entire university is behind them. Whether this coach is your coach or not next year, we support you. We're going to get your friends in here. Tell all your friends to come and support you at the game.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. That makes a good point. No rebuttal on that. Oh, Dietrich, shut him up.
So
No, it didn't make sense to me. That's why you don't rebut stuff that don't make sense. There's no comparison to our situation. Every time a UK fan makes an example and tries to make a likeness, I'm like, dog, y'all ain't never never been 4-28. Billy Gillespie's worst seasons didn't compare to this. John
Right.
Cal's worst seasons didn't compare to this.
But the
We got
conditions that took y'all to that position didn't exist anywhere else either.
Yeah,
coming
Jay.
off a death
Thank you, Max. Thank you,
penalty,
You
Max.
all
coming
were
off a
banned
death
from
penalty in
probation when
basketball,
Patino took over.
recruiting,
Like
coming
y'all
off of
just admitted, y'all were banned from probation when Patino took over, and y'all still went 15-15 that year.
the
See what I'm
number
saying?
one college
But
program was
Kentucky and
banned.
Louisville are not the same program though.
I know, so that, we don't have the
Different level.
same recruits.
Quit measuring yourself against with us. It's not the same. Oh, I'm sorry. Not what
We're
Kentucky, not
holding you
us.
in a higher esteem than you think. I mean,
I
we're
thought you were
saying
supposed to be biased. I
don't
thought you were
say
supposed to be unbiased.
I know that's the reason why I said I'm
thought you were
sorry.
supposed to be
He can't hold
unbiased, so
himself.
you should deduct.
I
a
messed
point
that up, man. I'm
from
sorry.
Kentucky. Yeah, you should
Yeah.
deduct
every
a
time
point
you
because
every time you de-bias yourself, subtract a
Yep.
point.
My
We're,
bad.
we're trying to say that UK fans are trying. I know what Dietrich's doing. Dietrich's doing everything he can to keep the worst basketball, Louisville basketball bench on the bench. That's his goal because that's who he is. But speaking in reality, no UK fan has ever seen this. No Villanova fan has really seen this. No Tennessee fan has really seen it. I mean, it's been a while. We're like at Vandy levels.
no top 10
Before Kevin
program
Sumlin got
in
to Vandy.
basketball history
Wow.
has seen this. But
I
then
mean, we're
again,
just
Louisville
literally
has
that bad, and we
we've
should
come through a
not be
lot of
that
stuff.
bad. Yes, there are psychological things in play.
Sean, it's not lack of talent. That's the reason. That's what we're saying. You guys have 5 wins. It's not because of lack of talent. It's a combination of things. I'm telling you, it's a combination of things. I think that Louisville has to look at themselves, not just KP, but Louisville's administration has to look at themselves and how things are handled. Like we're saying about the whole thing about one game playoffs, if you keep your job or not, and all this stuff out there. Nobody have said we're behind KP or anything like that. Then you have this meeting with the players during the season, but you don't fire KP. Then how you've handled the Karan Davis, is that his name is, situation, which to me, as soon as I saw that, I said that reeks of the top just not being right. It reeks of the top just being a mess right there. So you have all that combining in with the players' leadership part. I'm not even going to say talent, but the leadership part on being a player-led team. It just all comes together, and it just creates one mess. It just creates one mess. So it's not all on KP. Everybody's got a part to play in this. There's a part in it from the players. There's a part in it from KP. There's a part in it from higher up from
Chris
KP.
Mack stepped down. Chris Mack
I can
walked
agree with
away.
that.
He saw a mess. He had his little six game suspension. He knew that he was part of that whole issue with Gaudio and the whole extortion, the FBI extortion, and so he did his best to try to give it the old college try. He coached the preseason. We looked decent in the preseason. Those 6 games came. We were very dominant in those 6 games. Then he came back, and you could tell there was something between the chemistry on the bench, between him and the assistants.
He probably had already got his job lined up that he was going to.
No, he was out. He didn't get another job. He said, my dad was dying. They wanted to spend more time with his father. Yeah. He stepped away. He didn't want to drag the whole team. He stepped away and he left it up to Mike Pegas and the other assistant. And that's when you found out that whatever motivations the players were playing for at that point, it all dropped away when Mac left. And so then we had a bad season under Pegas. But there was not, it wasn't the turmoil that's done happened before. There was some ways forward. And this is that, Sean, that's what I'm saying.
There's something to say about that too. Yeah, there's something to say about that too.
Really a UofL fan, of course, we got that whole Twitter thing that went out that showed him being interviewed, and he was talking about how great Kentucky was and how he really wanted to go to Kentucky instead of going to UofL and how he recruit. I mean, that's just a mess.
After that came out, I would have said, "Hey, yeah, I'm sorry, I got."
But that was before he was even at Louisville.
Yeah,
we know, but perception, man, perception is everything.
I mean, Rick Pitino used to get on there and gloat about UK days and the fans being the best that he's ever had. I know he did.
A lot.
I know. I'm saying
everything else.
Thing. I understand.
We just need wins, man. Win, baby.
They just need wins. Win, baby.
He ain't gonna win. Bowl time, man. Let's talk
Yeah,
about the tidy
let's
bowl.
let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and talk about this bowl. Let's go. No. First off, no. Before we go to football, what about this rivalry game? What's the score? Give me y'all score. Y'all score prediction, or give me the spread. Give me the spread of what y'all think it'll be. Cats by how many?
99,
Cats by 90?
66.
Pass by 90.
99,
There you go.
66.
So I was looking at some of the stats and stuff like that. To be honest with you, and I do believe, and I said this continuously. I feel like it isn't a talent issue, and on that case, I don't think it's going to be necessarily one of them games where they come in and we're just going to beat this team by 40 points. I don't think that, because it's a rivalry game. I feel like guys are going to be up to it. There's going to be some stuff. If they have any type of heart, as mentioned before by Max, it's going to not necessarily be a close game. It could be because it's at Louisville. Guys get hot, right? And it could be close. But I'm thinking more so around 80 or 90 to about 70, 60. You hovering around that 18-point, 19-point win.
18-point win, 19-point win. Hey, all right. So Perry, what you think is going to happen, man?
I'm gonna play the drinking game. Every time I see a missed assignment,
He's
every
drinking.
time I see with water. So y'all know if I'm gonna play it with water. And
Why you call it drinking? Because you ain't
Wa-
drinking.
He's turning water into wine. That's what he's doing. He's turning water into wine.
Drinking water.
They put it in the
I'm gonna
old
be at your
wine
house to watch
skins.
I'm gonna be at your house to watch the game, Lathan. I'm coming over.
All right.
I'm over to your house to watch the game. And every time I see a missed assignment on defense by Louisville, every time I see a bad play on, I'm just gonna take a sip of water. And you'll probably
Time
see
out.
me have to use the bathroom.
Time
10
out.
minutes into the
Do
first
you
half.
really want to watch it at my house?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Will you stay the entire game?
That's
I will
what I
stay
was
the entire game. Hey, I got my
All right.
I got my X real glasses. Hey, I can watch something else. Put my headphones on.
He gonna tune out of the game.
He
gonna tune out of the game.
Something.
Boy, he's gonna tune out of the game. I'm just telling you.
UK by no less than 25.
Max, I agree with you. More blue in the stands than the red.
It'll be
And
full.
I thought about going. I thought about going to the game myself so I could throw L's down in their house.
Hey, it was fun when we went to when we played in the NCAA's the first two rounds. It was full of red. Rupp Arena was full of red.
I think what Sean Gurton says right here, you guys underestimate. I don't think Calipari is gonna bury KP.
Yeah, that's what I said.
He's gonna pull that back.
18,
Y'all gonna accidentally. He's gonna be y'all scrubs are gonna come in and bury. I mean, it just
Yeah, because he's gonna get mad at the scrubs for missing assignments or not being in this.
Sean, please tell me you're not refereeing this game because that means Kentucky's losing.
He'd have to be
he
doing
can beat
some
him. He can
serious
try.
cheating.
Y'all
He had to do some serious cheating for Kentucky to end up losing that game.
Max
But I
got
think,
Kentucky
like
by
I said,
17.
I'm going
All
to
right.
go by 30 points. I don't, I think what's going to happen is he's going to pull y'all starters probably 5 minutes before the end of the game, and your scrubs going to come in and just continue to get that momentum and build it up to about 25, 30 point lead. He's not going to keep the starters in for the whole game. That's what he's going to do to pull back, but it's not going to stop us from losing to your scrubs by that much. So.
Well, it'll be good to see players like Joey Hart play if he gets to, and then you also have Jordan Burks that didn't get to play against North Carolina. See him back in the game as well. Probably we can get some more time out of Hugo too, and knock some more rust off of him. So I mean, it serves a purpose for us. And there's what's that for? What's it for me?
We barely beat 4 guys on the court. That's what that for means. Your bench, your walk-ons, the water boy.
Hold up, you're what?
The clipboard. Those guys are going to get some playing time, and they're going to score on us. That's what I feel. So.
You say your bench. Okay, I thought you said something else.
I said UK's bench, UK's walk-ons, UK's clipboard, and water boy guys are going to get out there on the court, and they're going to still be able to score on us. So
I thought he was going to get us demonetized.
Because I thought for sure he cussed. That's why I said, wait a minute, what?
Bench. I'm sorry. Let me clear my throat.
All right,
Your bench players. Bench players.
It wasn't no better. It was louder with more emphasis. All right, so let's get to this. Let's get to this football game, man. Let's get to this football game because Louisville.
Hold on,
they go. Oh, go ahead. Give me your score.
12 to 16 points, somewhere in there. 12 to
12 to
16
16
points.
points. I think that's reasonable. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with what you got right there. 12 to 16 points.
Hey, but 9 wins was reasonable too. So
Got you. All right. So let's
Yes, your
switch on
football
over.
team will win more than our basketball team by the end of this season. That will happen.
He's
We
silly.
won't hit 8 wins.
He's silly. All right. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and get it started with the football. Can we talk about the football? Anybody else got anything else to say about the basketball?
Please.
All right. He said, please. He's ready to move on.
God, make it stop.
He's ready to move on. All right. Because we are an hour and 10 minutes into this podcast. We still haven't gotten on football yet. That's good, though. Let's talk about Louisville. December 27th, 2 days after Christmas, you guys travel out west to San Diego to play in the Holiday Bowl against USC. USC isn't even ranked. I didn't realize that. So number 15 Louisville comes in against USC. I know it's not ranked, but what do you guys, Perry? How do you guys feel about this matchup with USC?
It'll be interesting because we won't have our best running back and our best wide receiver. And so it'll be interesting to see if some guys can step up. Definitely this is like an audition for them for next year. We'll talk about recruiting and the portal.
So who's out this game? Who's out this game?
So we know Thrash is out this game. We know Jordan's out this game. I think one of our starting corners.
Which one is declared for the pros? Both of them or just Jordan?
Jordan.
Both of your running backs?
No. Two that are not playing in the game.
They both have declared. Jordan put out an official. Thrash put out an official statement today. Jordan put one out, I think, a few weeks ago, right before they got shoved. He put one out, and so they're going to be playing in the Senior Bowl. They're getting ready for the Senior Bowl.
Got you.
So the two players that are out are declared for the draft. That's one.
Thrash comes in 63 carries, 858 yards, and 6 touchdowns. So just shy of 1,000 yards receiving. But Jordan comes in with 1,100 yards rushing and 13 touchdowns on 181 yards. So that was he was toting the rock. Definitely toting the rock here. But I think USC, you might be facing a USC team without Williams, their quarterback, and no telling what else. So it's going to be interesting. Both teams going to have players out.
Their receiver and was it the defensive lineman or offensive line? One of the linemen and the receiver are not playing either.
Gotcha.
So we got 3 players that I know of that are not going.
You talking about UofL or USC?
USC.
No, they got more than that. Their defensive coordinator's gone. Their cornerbacks coach just got hired to do cornerbacks for Georgia. So that's interesting too. They've lost a chunk. Their best running back, the dude came, he was pretty good too. I watched him, his highlights, big dude. He's gone. Their first string quarterback is gone, and then their second string quarterback, who is a 5-star. I don't know if Malachi Nelson was the second string, but he's gone too.
Yeah, he's gone. That one kind of baffles me because I mean, Will Howard, he comes in, but he's got 1 year to play. So I mean, you telling me that a freshman can't sit one more year? He's got to hurry up and go play somewhere. I wouldn't be surprised if he pulls his name out of the hat, the transfer portal hat. But right now, it shows that Louisville is a 7.5 favorite to beat USC, but ESPN's matchup predictor actually has USC with a 54% chance of winning over Louisville. So that's going to be interesting.
I mean,
the Washington game, they gave Washington a pretty good run, so that's probably why.
Yeah, 52 to 42
in this bowl assignment. I mean, y'all are a 10-win team, and you're playing a depleted 7-win USC team. I mean, I know y'all had aspirations of, y'all were doing calculations to make the playoffs and hopefully playing Ohio State.
Hey, man, they was doing calculus over here, man.
In a New Year's Six Bowl, so
it wasn't us. It wasn't just us. It
was me.
I remember.
I admit it, and I still stand by my calculations as power.
I still
believe
the math works.
And I am behind. Mad. That's the only thing I agree with DeSantis on is if he takes you out of court for that hot mess. That's it. I don't care what you say.
He said,
You
"I'm a
got robbed.
Republican."
We
This
all
one.
got robbed. So
Caleb
I don't care what you
Republican
say.
for today.
Uh,
I would say I remember the first. I think one of the first. There was a game that Bobby Petrino coached against Mississippi State, and the entire Mississippi State staff had left, and they left just one guy from the previous staff to coach, and we lost that game with Lamar Jackson. So I would hope it's not like that. I would hope that Brom has more in his tank than what Petrino had going on, because that was sort of an embarrassing loss. We were picked to win that game, and we were down the whole game and had to just keep trying to come back. So Lamar's last game wasn't fun.
So let me
and if
get.
y'all lose
I
this
got a.
game-
I got a list for you. I got a list for you. So list of players from USC that has opted out of the Holiday Bowl. Caleb Williams, number one. He's the quarterback in the NFL draft. Then they have Brendan Rice, a wide receiver, also going to the NFL draft. Then you have Michael Jackson III, another wide receiver that's in the transfer portal. Dijon Benton, defensive lineman in the transfer portal. Raleek Brown, wide receiver / running back, who Kentucky was after, but committed to Arizona State. He's in the transfer portal. Chris Thompson Jr., linebacker in the transfer portal. Jude Wolf, a tight end, transfer portal. Darwin Barlow, running back, transfer portal.
These guys are scrubs, though.
Some of them scrubs. Matthew Colombo, also a running back, transfer portal. Xavier Zamarin, Gordon, DB. I mean, and there's like 3 other players. And Andrew Malik is one that Kentucky's after, who's an offensive lineman, transfer portal as well. Go ahead.
How many is that total for them?
That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 guys that's not playing in the bowl game.
Them and Ohio State. They was talking about Ohio State in the first couple hours of the portal opening. They had lost 13 guys.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's crazy.
I'll say this, though. There's only 4 of those guys that would have made an impact in the game.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
Brendan Rice, Caleb Williams, Michael Jackson III, and Dijon Benton, defensive lineman. So they're saying those 4.
Receiver, defensive lineman, and the quarterback. Yeah. So plus,
the
they
whole
lost their
show.
defense. You said they lost their defensive coordinator. Also,
They've lost most of their defensive staff. Some were fired.
Gotcha.
They fired Alex Grinch like 2 or 3 games ago.
Well,
And then the others, they said the
defense
whole-
sucked. That was their problem this year. The defense was horrible. So
That and Caleb didn't have the. I think I think arguably could be really the best quarterback prospect, honestly, to some. But people will look at what happened the last back end of that season and think that he's not. But talent is
he
clearly
won the
there.
Heisman. So he won the Heisman last year. So he had to be something.
So he's good.
Yeah, but
I might,
nevertheless,
I might
I
fly
think
back to this game. I might come to.
When I see this though, there's no reason that Louisville shouldn't win this. I mean, the Heisman Trophy quarterback isn't playing. In Louisville, their offense. I mean, you guys are missing your top running back, but your backup running back was really good to me. Thrash, you guys will miss Thrash as well, but USC's defense has been trash. So I mean, there's no reason why you guys shouldn't score a bunch of points against these guys.
Well, and the beauty thing about it is Louisville had been used to playing without them or with them in a weakened capacity because they were injured half of the season, both Thrash and Jordan. So Garindo and Bruce Huggins and Maurice, what's his name, picked up the slack. So we're used to playing without those players and key plays. So hopefully the offense won't take too much of a step back. However, what I'm afraid of is if we beat USC,
Give you a point for that.
the talk is going to be that, oh, y'all beat a depleted USC. Y'all don't get no brownie points for that. And, that's the smack that I'm going to have to beat down.
Well, yeah, and see, that's the downside when it comes to how college football is now postseason, because when you do have a lot of players like that is out, and Kentucky's going to face the same thing. It's not going to be unique to you guys. And when you have a lot of guys that's out like that, when you start talking to your rivals, talking about, yeah, we won our bowl game. What's the first thing the other side's going to say? Oh, they had this person out and things. So I mean, it's one of those things you just got to deal with.
You all are playing Clemson, and I think their only key player out is the running back.
Is that what it is? Okay, I thought it'd be more than that. I thought
I
they
mean,
had more
they
than
got
that this
other
year.
A lot of
people.
guys.
They got
A
other
lot of
people
guys.
out, but the only key player off of that team that started is the running back. That's not that he's in the transfer portal. No, he's declared for the draft.
Gotcha.
So I mean that for you all, if y'all beat them, you would beat a fairly consistent team from the season. So
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. So let's talk about y'all's transfer portal. It's going crazy, man. It's
yeah, we clean it up.
hold on. Let's go back. I'm just now seeing Sean Gurton's messages. Let's answer some of his questions that he has right here. Um, how important is this bowl game? For Louisville, I don't think it's too important. I think that you guys did a lot of that heavy
not.
lifting as for
Y'all.
program building during the season. I think that's the deal. Y'all won 10 games. Y'all exceeded y'all's expectations and everybody else's expectations.
I totally
Everything right now
disagree.
with this USC bowl game it's like it's icing on the cake.
I
Yeah, I
What
don't
do you
think
disagree.
it's
say?
a
I
big deal.
disagree. I disagree.
You
I don't think
disagree?
it's a big deal.
I
Go
disagree.
ahead. Go ahead. Let me hear your point.
Okay, first off, if we lose to USC, that's 3 losses back to back. Okay.
True.
We end this season down, and it's going to be a lot of. We already had uh, people talking about how are y'all overrated, this and this and that when we lost to UK, and now this is really going to spin up into hype gear because of the fact that we lost to Florida State. Then we're going to turn around and lose to a depleted USC. I think this is very important that we win this game. Number
Mm-hmm.
one, so that we can continue with the momentum and, as you said, a program builder. But the paper tiger and the y'all shouldn't have been even in the top 5, top 6, top 10, the college football rankings in the first place. All that's just going to elevate
You made some
and
good
get
points
louder.
there, but here's the question though. You say that will get louder, but it's isn't it already here? Isn't that's
Yeah,
not
Yeah,
but
going
I'm saying
away at
but
all?
this is validation. This is validation. We're playing a team that's considered a blue chip program. We're playing out there in the West, and we lose. And if we lose badly, that also impacts the argument about Florida State. Because if Florida State gets out here, now they're going to have. That's the other thing I don't understand here.
But see,
Y'all,
here's the thing about that though, because you talking about its validation, but then we go back to they already had a horrible defense, and their offense was a lot of Caleb Williams, and he's not even playing in this game. The backup
we're still going
quarterback
up against
isn't.
Lincoln Riley.
that's
We're
why I
still
say
going
that's
up
why I say
against.
it's
We're
not
still,
that
and
big of a
Louisville
deal.
doesn't travel out west well. We don't travel
That's
out
true.
west well at all. So this is a
It's
home
it's
game
not
for
that big of a
them
deal.
out there in their backyard. So
Okay.
It's not that big of a deal because the bowl assignment as it is already a slap in the face. When Kentucky had 10 wins 2 seasons ago, we played
I didn't mean
number
that.
17. We played a ranked team on New Year's Day.
Mm-hmm.
They're not getting a New Year's Bowl, and they're playing an unranked team as the runner-up of their conference with 10 wins. That's already a slap in the face. Like you said, a lot of that's already the perception is already baked into the cake. Win, lose, they're going to talk about the Heisman Trophy winners not there. They're going to talk about these players are in and
That's
out.
true.
but don't you
There's
think
nothing this
that
game
that
will give
loud
you.
talk will get even louder? And even,
No,
yeah, see, we told y'all, and especially if Florida
I mean,
State,
really, it's really if you lose the game, I mean, it really is going to be validation. I don't know if it
Kentucky
gets louder.
played
It's
in
going
the
to be validation.
Citrus
If you win
Bowl
the
with
game,
10
I don't
wins.
know that you prove anything.
well,
Kentucky
but
They
played
this
in
is
the
said
different
that
with
Citrus
about
Florida
Bowl.
us when
State.
we played Alabama years ago in our
But
first
that's
in the
Alabama.
Fiesta
That's
Bowl.
Alabama.
It
This is
was
not
Fiesta
a.
Bowl.
This is not
No, hold
USC.
on. I'm saying they said it wasn't going to matter, but it did matter a lot to U of L, and we did what we were supposed to do, and that kept us in the top 25 that year because they were the whole thing with Alabama being this traditional program, and Louisville didn't belong, even though Louisville had at that time had 9 wins and was 9-1-1, and we got our 10th win off of Alabama, and we proved that we belong on that stage. So you got both arguments, but the real thing is Jeff Brom is Jeff Brom.
Mm-hmm.
He's not these other coaches. I don't even want to say his name, Satterfield. He's going to get these guys up for USC. He got us
You
up for Kentucky so up that we were getting in fights and stuff. He's going to get us up for that. We were up for Florida State as well. So, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I believe that this game is important to the players.
So
That's why
PJ,
so many of them are staying and not a lot of them are opting out, to go to different bowls and to go to a Senior Bowl or opting out to transfer. A lot of the guys are staying to play this game, and it's in San Diego, beautiful San Diego. It's not,
You
in
drove
some.
on over there. How long is the drive?
I'm gonna
6
be in
hours?
Kentucky. That's the
Oh,
thing. I'm gonna be in Kentucky. It's about
oh,
5.
oh! Ain't that sad? That's so sad. Go ahead. Hey, PJ. So, what do you think? Is this important or is it not important?
I agree with Richard. I think it's one of those situations where if you lose this game, it only just heightens the perception of like, oh, this team wasn't really good. ACC isn't that good. This is the reason why Florida Station. It plays a part into all those situations, right?
Hmm.
And I feel like you have that where if you go in there knowing what you know, knowing Caleb Williams they're without their best player, which I honestly believe
Yeah.
that USC without Caleb Williams is much different than Louisville without the guys they have, because literally he was the show for USC. They talk about it all
So,
year long. So I feel like if you don't win that game, it's gonna be a really really bad look.
okay. So, what you just said, I understand what you just said, but Richard, doesn't that illustrate that you guys are in a no-win situation, really? Because I mean,
Mm.
you have to
Yeah.
win to keep the naysayers away.
Yeah, if
But
you
then
do it,
if
you
you
don't.
win, it's like you should have won.
Okay,
So
well, I'd
You
rather
should have beat them by
look,
20
number
with all
one,
your
from a
players.
program
you
from a
should have been
program building
40.
perspective, from a program building
Don't be mad.
perspective, the win is always better no matter what you say, no matter what. Everything else is
I agree
speculation.
with that.
Speculation. It's not validated. Secondly, we are the higher ranked program. We are ranked number 15, 14, or whatever, playing
Yeah.
an unranked program. See what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That's depleted. We lose to them. Not only do we bring ourselves down, we bring the conference down. We bring down the conference champion that beat us. Like I said, it's a whole lot of nonsense that would follow that. And it would be validated with a loss to a depleted USC. That's what I'm saying. Yes, to us, this is a big win for us. Plain and simple. We cannot just walk in and say, oh, well, we could lose this and we could still, live to survive another day and it won't impact us. Oh, it'll impact us a lot. Yeah. So I
So
say, yeah,
Brian
it's a big one.
Brian Shannon makes a good point. A win is a win. You blow them out. It doesn't matter if Williams is there or not. Said the
There you
risk is
go.
losing.
Agreed.
That hurts
Agreed.
them in the ACC to an extent. Hey, I like that. I think you're on point right there. I'm gonna give Louisville a point just for that because y'all need it right now, even though y'all winning. I'm giving y'all a point on that.
There you go.
All right, so let's go ahead and talk about these transfers. I already have one comment that's
We're
come
gonna talk
in.
about UK's bowl game.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it, but let's get into these transfers real quick. I got one comment that's already come in. Said that Louisville is filling up with a bunch of MAC transfers. I don't know if Aaron, have you
No.
noticed Ja'Cory Brooks at all? Have you
That's what
noticed
I was
him?
about- no, I was going to say Ja'Cory Brooks, but I think our biggest gain is Corey Thornton, that defensive back from USC.
Okay.
He ain't a MAC. He's actually Big 12, UCF, Central Florida. They're in the Big 12. But I think he is our biggest gain because he takes care of an immediate need, and that's the secondary. He's a shutdown corner in the secondary, defensive back in the secondary, and that's what we needed because we got 8 up this year in
Yeah.
the secondary. And he will be an immediate fill in. And I saw some of his highlights. This dude is good. I think he's probably our best pickup.
Corey
I don't care about
Thornton
anybody else, but I
from
think he is.
UCF. Okay.
Yeah, UCF.
Oh, so Richard is coming through with he's talking about. I saw the highlights. He's doing his evaluation and everything. That's what I'm
This
talking
man
about.
did his
That's
research.
what I'm talking about.
There was a
Good,
possibility
man.
I wasn't gonna be here, so he knew he had to step.
Yeah.
Came ready. Came ready.
So, but that's a
Yeah.
good question, though. That's a good question. What do you think is your guys' top get so far, Perry? I'm kind of biased to Isaiah Cummings, though. But go ahead.
No, man, he could have stayed.
Because we pulled him from
He
y'all.
needed to go back. He needed to go to the MAC. We didn't. That's what you call throwing somebody a bone. I think we're gonna get some of those good guys from Mel. That's why he's here. There's some in this coming class that are pretty good. Max and some of the others.
What's
But,
your name about Blake Ruffin?
He was pretty legit too on that. And you wonder about FCS, but then when we got Tyler Hudner last year, you could tell that Tyler Hudson was Hudson. He was good too, even though he came from FCS. He was able to stand up And I think one of your D backs last year was like, "There's no good wide receivers, but he's the one guy that got the touchdown, at the end of the game." So he's pretty legit. I like the tight end that we got from San Diego State, and then we got another tight end who's like 6'7", so he's going to be a monster one way or
Yeah,
another.
Tanner Cozio
Yeah,
from Ball State.
yeah.
But here's the question.
To the
Here's the
guy that
question.
said
Defensive
doing
pickups
with
we got.
Mac transfers. If you notice, UK has had a lot. We are actually following after Big Sister, and we starting to recruit the Mac. So we got some Northern Illinois guys.
That's a fail. Wait a minute. So no, because Kentucky has played a lot of MAC schools. I give you that.
Y'all have Mac
What?
recruits on
Who?
your roster.
A
Oh my
lot.
goodness. Is it y'all got like three or four back-to-back
Who?
years? Y'all got y'all got an offensive lineman and then another offensive lineman and then I think a linebacker. Check your record, man. Check your team.
No, that's Northern Illinois.
That's a MAC team.
Northern Illinois is MAC. Okay.
Oh,
All right. I'm thinking-
One away
Were
from
they
you,
in
Jay.
I'm thinking Ohio.
One away from you,
I'm
Jay.
thinking Ohio.
that's not their kid.
I'm thinking Ohio. Okay. You got. Hey, I give you that one.
I'll say
So
this though too. Oh my bad.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say while I think that Louisville is doing a great job that they're, I don't read too much into sometimes like necessarily always where they come from. I think it does have some stuff to do with it, depending on like certain positions or styles of play, right? But I feel like also on the other end of that, like I know not necessarily you all, but a lot of people have been throwing up to me like, oh my goodness, we're number 3 in the transfer portal right now. Like,
Yeah.
ha ha ha.
Brings up these
And I'm
fans
like,
that are not on this call.
no, I'm just saying. I'm saying the perception though. The perception of it like is like, oh, we're this, and I'm like at the same time, you're number 3 because you have 16 guys already signed, which is great on your part. Which I know we're going to get to Kentucky's part on how slow they are, but following Big Sister, as you claim us to be, right?
For Mac.
Don't
For
really
Mac.
have too many of those on our transfer portal right now. We have a lot of Power 5 guys, so
I'm
that's
gonna
all.
tell you what I am jealous of. Louisville has a defensive lineman by the name of Thor. That's pretty cool. A defensive lineman, if he ain't Thor like.
And he's from the Ivy League.
Filling in those
Yeah.
defensive holes, man. Like I said, we got the DB and we got the safety that will fill immediate needs on the back end of that defense.
So
And then
what's
somebody
the
said something-
what's the
somebody
deal
said
with quarterbacks? That's what I want to know. Cause y'all got Tyler Scholl, but then you there was a rumor about Malik Murphy. Then no, it didn't happen. What do you guys? What's going on, Perry? What are you hearing?
So he's got a room full of quarterbacks, and it's crazy. But he's made it. I guess he's let it be made known that if there's a talent out there, he's gonna get that guy. If he can get him on campus, and so the hope was that we would try to get Cam Ward in. He was actually made overtures to Cam Ward, and this was after Tyler Shug. And so why are you doing that?
Look at it's like he knows something, but he ain't gonna say nothing.
Well, he's gonna talk, and he'll talk. But I said when Shug was brought on, I was like, I don't think he's gonna be a major cog. But then the reports and I guess the interview afterwards made it seem like he was. But I was like, why are we getting him? It seemed like it was just the guy that pulled the trigger first, and that Brom was going after some bigger fish. There was the rumor about it wasn't Malik Murphy, it was the guy down at Tulane, and that guy's jumping to the NFL. But there's rumors out that he actually connected with the staff. He liked what he saw. He was definitely, really, really liking what he saw and what he could do. But he's now going. There's no way he's coming back from the NFL draft. He's going in there.
Gotcha.
What is it, Philemon? Tell us what you know.
Yeah, PJ, what's
It
going
wasn't
on? What's on your
necessarily-
mind?
No, it wasn't necessarily something that I know. It was mostly just the conscience around the QB thing has kind of been funny to me. That's what it's been.
Gotcha.
I think Tyler. I think Tyler with healthy wise. Like I think this guy's an impact player, right? He's an impact player. He's shown that he can run the ball and he can throw the ball a little bit. Like what I'm saying. Like this is a good pickup. But it's just been humorous to me the QB conversation because at first when they got him, it seemed like it was him. It sounded, and again, I'm speaking overall in general, like you all do about fans. It was like
Hmm.
this is the guy, but now that people are not so high on him, now people are like talking about, or the other names are coming up. I just don't see a Cam Ward
I said
going.
day one, I didn't think he was the guy. As
Yeah,
soon
no,
as they
I
made the
said fans.
announcement,
I
he
said fans,
posted it.
period. But you're not all fans, period. Just like I'm not all fans. I'm just saying there's more fans out there than you that were like, oh, this guy. I remember they was again. I'm getting attacked because I'm like, okay, I think Brock's a good pickup, and they're like,
Hmm.
no, we got a guy who played like in this and that. I'm like, well, yeah, he gets injured every year, so it's just funny. It's just funny that the conversation how like it just changes so much about the QB situation, and I think right now I think the state of Louisville doesn't really know what they're doing with the QB position.
I kind of agree with that as well because we you have heard all kind of things, but I'm going as with the assumption that Tyler Show he's the guy.
That's
He's
kind of
the
what I'm
guy.
thinking.
What'd you say?
And I said that's kind of where I'm at right now. Until someone else commits, they've had 40 commits so far this weekend. Until somebody else jumps on there that's a QB, it's kind of like Tyler's the guy. That's what it seems like.
Yeah. So Richard,
Joe.
have you watched any kind of film with Tyler Shows? See what you like, what you don't like.
Mm, no, I haven't really researched him yet, but I'm more or less just amazed that the transfer portal is where coaches are going. I think somebody said something on one of the boards this afternoon where that's what coaches are doing. And we're just going to recruit the transfer portal. We're not going to try to go to these high school guys because we get the experience and the gameplay from the transfer portal. And if we do go after a high school guy, we're going to make him sit a couple of years before we actually put him out there. And if he decides to stay at that point, hopefully he'll have enough experience. But you
Hmm.
notice all these quarterbacks, all these people are in the transfer portal. I don't hear any recruiting of high school prospects at this particular stage. You know how you talk about, hey, we're going to get this
Yeah.
guy, 5-star recruit coming out of this high school. Everybody's trying to get the best out of the transfer portal. So,
Well,
wow.
and that's the bad thing about this whole ordeal because the recruiting and how everything happens, it's kind of knocked high school recruiting down a notch. I'm not going to say it's not
It
important
has.
anymore, but it's not as important
Right.
because like Kentucky right now, we lost how many? Did we two or three decommits? Nobody cared because
Yeah.
as soon as they decommitted, the
We
people
was
was
in the
talking
transfer.
about, hey, we got another scholarship open to get somebody else out of the transfer portal. So that's how it is now. That's how it is
Yeah.
now. So
And I can agree. I can see that because, like I said, you're getting the experience, and you already know what this kid can do.
mhm.
Somebody said this in the board. I can't remember if it was you, PJ, or Perry, or maybe you, Lathan. The fact that the guys coming out of high school, 5-star recruits, probably get drafted high, get picked at these schools, and get there and be a bust. But we already know who's in the transfer portal, what they've done. We got film on them on a D1 college level. So
Yep.
yes, we are more apt to go after the transfer portal than heavily recruiting some guy coming out of high school. So
It's a
yeah, you're
it's a
right.
safer it's a safer recruit. It's a safer recruit
Yep.
than it is coming out of high school. You're not projecting anymore. You've seen what they can do at this level. So this is what we need. This is what we're going and getting.
But it has given opportunities to group of five players.
Boy, this is like a ghost right here because he's gone. Now he's
In the
back.
black.
Yes. Hold
He got
on. Let me
turned
get him
out the
back.
lights.
I'm
You know,
black,
like I
y'all.
keep
I'm
saying,
black,
the
y'all.
Lord punishes those people who should not be speak blasphemy. And he's had
He's
a
got to
rough
be
night
anonymous,
tonight,
man.
hadn't he?
Look,
And I'm
look.
black, y'all.
He's
And I'm
got to
black,
be
y'all.
I
anonymous.
thought the man was gone, and then all of a sudden he just starts talking. Yeah. So PJ, have you looked at this Louisville quarterback Tyler Show? Is he a improvement over Plummer, or he's about on the
Probably so,
same
just by
line,
the
or
name. Yeah.
I mean, I
by the
think
name?
almost to be honest, and I'm not trying to be funny. I think almost anyone that could get out of the portal could be an improvement over Plummer. I know I know y'all wasn't as high on him, and I wasn't either. Um, I think again I looked up to him for different reasons because of other people, not necessarily because of our conversation in our chat, but because of others that I talked to. And I seen a guy. I mean, I seen a guy who can make some plays, who can run the ball. You know what I'm saying? Who can throw the ball. Again, the only thing that really that's troubling to me, if I'm a Louisville fan, is he's played 7 games max, really 6, because some of those by that 7 game, it's like 2 or 3 attempts and he's out of the game. So I don't know
No,
what's
you missing. He's played more games than that
Well, because
in a single season. I said every single. No,
in
the
a
most
season.
games he played in a
Season.
single season
Okay.
is 7. That's what I
Okay.
said.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're right. You
most.
made it
So that
sound like
means
more.
no, I'm saying by the time. But
Yeah,
even
you're
in
right.
those 7 games, when you go look at that 7th game, it's most time like 6 attempts because he's
mm,
injured. It's like
Mm.
it's almost every single. Now, other seasons, I think beginning he was a freshman, so he didn't play that much. He came in at the tail end, but the ones where he started, man, I'm like, dude, this dude's getting injured every year.
yeah,
I don't know if I trust it.
I
So that
would
makes sense to go out
say.
and try to get another quarterback.
it does make sense to go out and get another quarterback. Let's see if you
Yeah.
guys do that.
I would. I would
I
say. Go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Lathan. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say I still wonder about what you guys have in the freshman from California. I believe his name is.
Pierce
See what
Clark.
he does. Yeah,
Hmm.
but go ahead, Perry.
I was gonna say. I think he is. He's a different style than Plummer. He's a stronger runner. He's got a stronger, liver arm. It'll be interesting to see his field recognition. Exactly, Johnson. I agree with you, Bishop. I agree with you wholeheartedly. When I see him mess up during the game, I say, "Man, Plummer be plumbing," and I just
He got all the respect this time. He
I,
said Bishop. He
I
didn't
give
say
him all
Coach.
all the respect.
Nothing. He said Bishop. All right, go ahead.
But 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 I think that with Shug, he's it seems like there's no way he could be headed to the next level. So that's why I was like, he's got to be a future clipboard holder because this is like his sixth or somebody said seventh, but I think it's his sixth season.
Hmm.
And here he is again. And so either he's going to be somebody's free agent next year, but he needs the knowledge that Brom is going to give him because he's going to like one of those quarterback coaching gurus between him and Brian Brom. So I
Hmm.
think that's one of the reasons why he's coming on board. He's going to get his time here, and if he gets injured, who knows? And then if we get another quarterback in the portal, we pull another one in, like say if Cam Ward does slide our way, then you're looking at him being just a piece and him saying, well, I'm going to come and get my coaching knowledge and get my next level quarterbacking knowledge and I'll just be ready. Because my feeling from the get-go was that we have too much supposed talent on the bench with these. We got
Yeah.
like, this is the most 4-star quarterbacks we've had in the program at one time, 4 and 5-star guys. And it's just baffling that, again, using my John Cal analogy, we have a quarterback guru. You have some 4-star quarterbacks. You supposed to be developing these guys. You supposed to be the difference in these guys seeing the field or not. And
Hmm.
so it's going to look bad for him to have a stockpile of quarterbacks. And these guys, he's having to continue to bring in guys from the transfer portal. That says there's not a connection being
Well,
made between Brom, him, and the people that these are guys that he's brought in. Some of them he's coached before. Brady Allen is a guy that was on his Purdue bench,
hmm
and as a freshman, a true freshman last year. So what are you saying when you go out and you bring in a Tyler Shug, and then you're still looking for somebody like Cam Ward? You're saying two things. The good is I really, really, really want to win. I want to get to a national title. I want to get to something. I want to do something more than what's been done before. That's
hmm
the good about what you're saying. But then there's the bad, is in you're saying there's nobody that I believe in wholeheartedly on my bench right now that could take my team to that level. I'm done.
But it also could be that you're just trying to get competition in that quarterback room. Want more competition in that quarterback room. Maybe it
What are you
is
talking
the
about?
guy.
We got 9
And
QBs
quarterback.
this
What?
year.
No, I'm not talking about that. Well, here's the thing. There's a difference in numbers and in competition. Numbers versus competition is not the same thing because you could have a lot of guys in number and you got some guys in there that's just not going to cut it. This you can look at these guys. I'm going to eliminate this person, this person, this person, this person, this person. Just on they don't have it. They don't have it to start. That's kind of what I was telling you, Perry. You can't develop what's not there. And Brom looking at some of
I
them
agree.
like they don't have it. So let's move on to these other players. Now, the players that we have that has that capability, what do we have? Okay, we need some more competition of this caliber type of player. So you got the one guy that, like you said, a true freshman that's coming from California. It was true freshman this year. From California, you guys probably have another backup there. Show's probably coming in. I'm interested to know what he told Show. Is it your job or is it you're coming in here to compete with these other guys?
Show
So
made it seem like he was like, I'm being told I'm gonna come in and play. There was no compete. So that's why I was like, when he made that statement after I made my initial statement about this guy's going to be a clipboard holder, I was like, oh, okay, I got corrected. I'll shut up.
I'm beginning to wonder about the 4-star recruit that we got from California, and then I'm beginning to wonder
That's
about
exactly
that guy.
what happens. You start wondering about him. But he's small though. If you saw him in Murray State, he was small, and I'm like, man, I don't know about this dude.
all right.
And he's not a super fast guy, but they're saying he's a dual threat, but he's not.
All
We
right.
saw some guys his height.
Stop talking.
I'm done.
We done with Louisville football.
All right.
Dang, man. All right. So, so let's talk about the other team in Kentucky, the best football team in the best football program in Kentucky, and I'm just not being biased. They have the bragging rights because they won
WKU
the rival.
won the last game between them and UK.
They won. They run the rivalry
won
game.
Titles. WKU is the best.
Oh, did they play in Papa John's too? Did they play in LNR Stadium, whatever it's called too?
But they beat UK the last time they played UK, so they
just won their conference and they just won their bowl game this year.
Can we
Yeah.
get
Came
can
from
we
30
get
and they won their
28
conference.
down.
Hold on, what's the mute button?
Watch your mouth, Mr. Unbiased. Give us a point.
All right,
He
so
jumped out
Give us
again.
a
He was
point.
about to say something. He was about to say another blasphemous statement.
Dietrich is gone again. I don't know what he doing, but Dietrich is gone again. That
Setup is not
voice,
simple enough.
that voice is gonna come back in the mist. But let's talk about Kentucky on December 29th, getting ready to go down to Florida to play in the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl against number 22 Clemson, which is going to be a good game. I see on ESPN predictor, I don't know who this is, but they have Clemson winning 27-19. PJ, what do you see in this game? What are you thinking about this game? How important is it to Kentucky? Go ahead.
It's not important.
I think you want to win the game. I think anybody with any type of heart or any type of real fan wants to win the game, right? Like I don't care what the optics are. I think we have a shot, just like anybody else. I think they have a good. I don't say they have a good team, but they have a decent team. We have a decent team. I think it's just going to be about who wants it more. We've seen us come out and play in these bowl games and be really, really flat. I hope that's not the case. I kind of hope Leary plays because I know last time we played, we had the Wade kid who ended up transferring, and that was a disaster.
Do y'all have
And I
anybody
also
out for the game?
I haven't heard too much about all who wouldn't be out. I think Ray. They was kind of like on the fence about if Ray was going to play or not, but I think he.
I'm gonna tell you. I don't know everything that happened, but this is what we know that happened. Ray said he's going to the NFL. He's going to forego that game. He's opting out. After they questioned Stoops about it and asked him about Ray, Stoops turned around and said, I'm not too sure about that. I'm going to have to talk to him. Shortly after that interview, Ray comes back out and says, I'm playing in the game. I would love to know what that conversation was. Go ahead, PJ.
Probably obligations he had. But anyways, contractual obligations. But, I think if we have the guys,
I didn't mean that.
To go ahead and get another win. Of course, against ACC school, so we know that's it's easy to do. So hopefully come out there and get a dub. I think it will be a close game. I think it will be a game that probably will be decided by a field goal or something to decide in the fourth quarter. And hopefully it comes out on the side of the blue and white team.
Got you.
He
All
said
right.
it's easy to do.
Yeah, it says that now in the description they don't say who all the players that are, but they said Clemson they're going to be without the star linebacker Jeremiah Trotter Jr. and then several others that are moving on. So it's interesting to know who that is. But their matchup predictor gives Kentucky a 33.9% chance of winning this game. So it's really slotted towards Clemson to win this game. There's pretty much nothing to lose for Kentucky. I mean, we come in 7-5. You don't want to be 7-6. 8-5 looks much better, and then we can say, hey, we were 1 or 2 wins off from what we predicted. But that's about it. That's about
Where's the
it.
game at?
I don't.
What bowl is this?
It's the Tax Layer Bowl down in Florida. I think it's Jacksonville.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So it'll be pretty interesting. 2 days right after Louisville plays. So the 27th, y'all tune in to Louisville. I think it's 27th at 8 o'clock. You'll see the Louisville and USC game.
I'll be over there to watch both games.
Kentucky, okay, with December 29th at 12 noon. All right, and Perry's going to be at the house to watch both games. I'm gonna have some footage for you guys so I can show you guys how I'm on him so hard. Richard got it when Kentucky beat Louisville.
You know what? Just so you, like, I'm gonna be there. I might be there.
All right, both of them in the house. I'm gonna have so much fun. PJ, you might as well come over too.
If there's a victory to be had, I'm gonna be all in your face like he was giving me the blues. In your house. I'm gonna be loud. I'm gonna be outside in your neighbor's yard. In your house.
All right, we're gonna wrap this one up. We are hour and 50 minutes into it. We done exhausted everything that we have to talk about, and we're gonna go ahead and give it to Louisville yet again today. All right, guys. Hey, we're gonna quit doing this. All right, we're gonna quit doing this at some point, but we're gonna give it to y'all again.
We gotta win something, man. Yeah. We gotta win something. We lose so much to you.
He's like, man, we ain't winning nothing in basketball, so at least give us the shot.
Football, not bad. We gotta win something.
All right.
Y'all don't talk about soccer. Y'all don't talk about volleyball.
Sure don't. But guess what? That means Louisville won this one. That means that you got 2 minutes uninterrupted time. Go ahead and give your shout outs. Everything that you guys want to say, go ahead now.
Go ahead, Richard. I'll do the next one.
But this has been a tough season, tough year for me and all of my teams. You know, my Mel Bulldogs, we choked in the state finals. Then my Steelers are falling flat. Then Louisville, we lost to Kentucky. And then the basketball team, my Yankees didn't go nowhere this year. It's just been a tragic season for this fan. But you know what? I'm still a fan. I still got my merch. I wear all my merch. I got merch for all my teams. I can't say that for half the people on this show.
Well,
and I wear my merch through rain, sleet, or snow, hell or high water. I'm a fan for life, so no matter what. Hopefully, we can pull out a victory someplace this week, whether it's the bowl game, on the court.
He said finding it somewhere.
Or the conference as a whole can pull out a victory in the bowl game. But hopefully I can at least get one of these victories in the next 7 days.
I feel you. All right, go ahead, Perry.
It's just, I mean, like you said, it's been a rough season. You know, you learn how to be humble, and you learn, how to look to the hills from which cometh your help. Your help coming from the women's basketball team and from the
He's over here quoting scriptures.
From the volleyball team, from the soccer team. Oh man, it's been rough. But keep your head up, Louisville fans. Keep your head up. Good times is coming. Our recruiting is doing really well. We see what Jeff Brom is able to do, with what he was able to get in the the transfer portal last year. So we've got some big things coming next year in football. We will survive and we'll move forward.
Well, with that, we just hit the 0-second mark. So I want to appreciate everybody has come out. I'm not for sure why my camera is frozen, but it's frozen. I want to make sure I thank you guys for watching this show. Thank you if you guys are still in, an hour and 53 minutes in. Thank you, PJ, for attending. Thank you, Perry. Thank you for Richard. Thank you, the man that keeps appearing and disappearing, Dietrich. All right, until next time, I thank you guys. Peace.